This is 4TW Live, recorded October 4th, 2014. Episode 4, The Goodwill Black Widow. Welcome to 4TW, well, almost live again. Yeah, we don't have our streaming set up yet, but I'm working on it. Hopefully next week. Carty over here can probably help us with that. But welcome to 4TW Live. I am Admiral Joker joining me this week. Welcome back, Chris Carty Kovacs. Yo. And Super Mario Benegas. How you doing, Mario?
Hey guys, how y'all?
How you doing, Carty? We missed you last week.
Yeah, I was in a bit of a funk and I was writing, so I apologize for not being there. But
that's cool.
Yeah,
all right, man.
We all get in those kind of places, but it's cool. You're back.
I'm ready to kick some babies down a flight of stairs and get this show going. So
we here at the 4TW Network do not condone kicking babies down flights of stairs.
Yeah, we do.
Or kicking babies or whatsoever.
We absolutely do. Don't listen.
Now, kicking Democrats, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Oh man, here we go. All right.
Anyway, wrong show.
Moving
wrong
on.
Show. Wrong show. Maybe we'll launch that one again.
That's
later.
for Conan O'Brien to do, okay?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get things started. Carty, you'll lead us with this one. Google reportedly tried to buy Cyanogen, I believe it's pronounced?
Cyanogen.
Cyanogen.
Yeah.
All right. Cyanogen. Chris,
Cyanogen.
Carty, can you
Sure.
explain what Cyanogen is, please? You're more into the cell phone market than I am.
Sure. Cyanogen, or also known as CM or Cyanogen mod, has been arguably, well, not even arguably, is the number one best mod option when you want to root your Android phone, which for those at home who don't know what rooting is, long story short, it's where you tell Google, fuck you, I don't like all your shit. I'm going to do this little crack gimmick and put this whole customized version that works better on my phone. Disclaimer, of course, we can't, for 4TW's sake, we don't recommend you root or do anything like that, because that does actually infringe on the copyright, which is technically not good. But it's not like people get caught. People do it. Google knows it. It's not really that big of a deal. But anyways, Cyanogen mod has been known as the number one mod, period. And pretty much, except for Samsung, which before we went on, started recording, what we were talking about was Samsung has their own built-in hardware modifications and tweaks and things that actually make the battery last super long, make the processor get the full capabilities of it, the whole nine yards. So there's tweaks involved. Plus, their bloatware isn't really bloatware. They give you options like you could disable certain Samsung products or apps, which nobody else does. So there's a lot of benefits to really not rooting a Samsung, especially a Galaxy. The El Cheapo Samsungs, it depends, but for the most part, if it says Galaxy in the name, don't root it, please. But anything else, fair game. And you want to go with Cyanogen mod. So Cyanogen mod basically is being the number one. This has actually been something talked about on and off for a long time. This isn't the first time Google has made an attempt to try to buy them. But bottom line is, CM's like, no. The developer's like, sorry, we're growing every day. I mean, with all these new Androids coming out, they're newer versions of CM, which I apologize. I actually meant to go to their site because I actually have it bookmarked. But I was going to see what the current version is. I believe it is 12? 11. Okay, 11. Yeah, that's the current version, stable release. And it's phenomenal. I mean, it is phenomenal. It really, by far, I mean, from the actual mod itself, the customer service you get in their community, everything as a whole is amazing when it comes to them. Nice. So it's no surprise that Google wants to buy it. But here's the thing. I speculate that, pretty much everyone knows. The reason why they wanted to do it is they wanted to kill it.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to get rid of it. It's competition for them. Well, so, what do you think?
Wrong. Rooting isn't illegal. Because
no, it's not illegal.
Google,
it's not illegal.
Technically speaking, Android is open source.
It is open source, yeah. Right.
It doesn't, but it does void your warranty.
And well, that's the catch. I should be more specific. Thank you for bringing that up. To be more specific, what actually is the only thing that you should be aware of is it voids your warranty through the manufacturer, and in some cases, it could even void the warranty through either third-party warranties offered through the cell phone provider, as well as any service provided from said provider, like Verizon especially. If they hear you say the word root in that call, you're done. They're not even going to talk to you. I mean, they're going to say, I'm sorry, I apologize, but you rooted your phone. There's like a million different things that could have happened because of it. Yep. We can't help you.
And the insurance companies will not grant you a claim if your phone is rooted. You can drop the damn thing into the toilet. You have to send it off. If you send it off and it turns out it is rooted, guess what? You're screwed.
Yeah, and I mean, honest to God, the rooting thing is a good thing, but it also has a risk. And people need to understand that, especially if you've never done it before or,
Well, I think Android has gotten a lot better. I think vendors have gotten a lot better with it. I don't know if, people want to be power users and root their phone all the time. I don't think it's really as big a thing as it used to be.
No, it has
gotten a lot better. Phone manufacturers keep their software more up to date. Home S4 just got another update. I'm pretty sure Android L will be an update too. So, Mario, what do you think?
It's pretty much died down enough where I can agree with that. I mean, it used to be the talk of the thing. What, 5-6 years ago, when obviously the smartphones were taking off, and yet, like everybody just said here, the operating system was But yeah, we had some very canny people here, very smart guys that just said, you know what, we're going to make it better. And you know what, we're going to give that to the people and see how that works. But it almost reminds me of Napster in a way. It's almost. But the only reason why I say that is only because, well, look, back 15? I dare say 20 years ago, give or take. I mean, Napster infancies, but everybody wanted that. I gotta have.
No, it wasn't that long ago, Mario. It was
all right.
14
all right, let's go 14.
Actually, Napster was about 15 years, dude. That was high school for us.
Oh yeah,
high school.
It was high school.
15 years.
So we'll put it at 15.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yet the trend that I saw was that everybody wanted all those, every single song in the universe. Don't want to pay a nickel for it, but then all of a sudden the industry got
baby.
That too. Man, I remember that. But now all of a sudden, everyone buys a smartphone, whatever, regardless if it's a Apple, Android, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and buy that latest little album there. Oh, I can buy every little song for like $1 or $2. All of a sudden, the giant majority of people who just did that now all of a sudden are eating out of the hands of the people who construct the gateway, so you can conveniently have it without doing overcomplicated downloading and illegal things of doing it this way or that way. It's sort of in the same way I'm seeing it this way. We wanted it, now it's like, eh.
The one thing Apple ever did, and I will always give them credit for, Apple revolutionized the digital music market. I will give them full credit for that. I don't like Apple. But you know what? I will give them credit where credit is due. They did the one thing that made the iPhone what the iPhone was iTunes.
Yep.
Without it, they wouldn't be where they're at.
But I did forget to say that there is one other, I guess you could say, benefit from rooting, not just the tweaks and all that stuff. It's also the fact that there's a lot of apps that normally on the marketplace you have to pay for them.
Yeah.
Well, you could get apps that are made similar, almost identical to those apps, but are basically free because you rooted your phone and it's rooted and you're on what's called super user, and you can, there's also like, which a lot of people, it's only a small group that do this, but there's ways you can, through rooting, you can actually bypass the Google market and actually get paid apps for free. And I mean, that's kind of been locked down recently, and that goes into the whole thing cool. Mario was saying, where back in the day, like in the beginning of Android, the benefits were obviously there, but it was a combination really of, there was benefits to rooting, and it was also like the kind of the trend, the cool thing to do. If you didn't root your phone, then that means, oh, well, then you might as well get an iPhone, you noob. That was kind of how you were treated. But
Well said.
as it's grown, manufacturers actually did pay attention, like you were saying. But manufacturers paid attention. They said, "Wow, why are people wanting to not use our stuff? Why are they rooting it?" And they realize they don't want all this stuff that they think, oh, this would help them for this or this will help them that. They want efficiency. They want their phone to run like a Mustang, like a beast, and they want just whatever they want, not what you want to give them. Yeah. They want to have options. They want to have customization, and they want it to run as fast as it possibly can. So manufacturers like Samsung, Sony, even LG to some extent, they said, you know what? Samsung being the leader, they're the first ones to jump in and say, we're going to start tweaking this shit. That way, and that's why I'm saying since the Galaxy 3, or maybe even the Galaxy 2, Galaxy S2.
After they made the Nexus S. After they made the Nexus S.
Yeah, after the Nexus S came out, right before 3 came out, pretty much any version of that phone in Ford had tweaks on it. It was all done in the background. And Samsung's smart for that. That's why they're the number one Android phone on the market.
Samsung was the first manufacturer I can think of that went form factor unification for a phone amongst all carriers. Because prior to the S3, every Samsung Galaxy phone and pretty much every phone was different on any carrier you go to except for the iPhone.
Yep. It had a different OS version, or it would have different types of its own bloatware.
Yep.
And
the S2 on the AT&T or the Skyrocket, which was the S2 LTE, was completely different than the S2 on Verizon or Sprint. I think Sprint and Verizon had the same one. But
by the way,
with the S3, everything's the same. And going forward, they've done the same thing. Good for you.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot to mention, people are like, what's bloatware? Bloatware is the software that Samsung provides, as well as the company the wireless provider. They call it bloat because it's bloated and it slows down the phone. It's unnecessary. That's what bloatware is. And then usually you can't remove it either, which is what's a pain in the ass.
It's like the shit you get on your computer when you get it from like Dell.
Exactly. Like all the CompuServe and McAfee and Norton shit.
Get yourself there a little.
Yeah.
Man, it's got that Prodigy on there. What the hell?
Yeah, Prodigy. What's I got AOLs. I thought AOLs
They're
does
still
it.
around.
Whatever to just happening to just getting only the operating system, and that was it.
That's never been that way.
Yeah.
Unless you build it yourself. Every computer I've ever bought from the stores always had bloatware since the beginning of time.
Always.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you think the bloatware's gotten bigger or roughly the same?
Worse.
I mean, it's
worse.
Okay. All right.
A lot worse.
Yeah, it's a lot worse,
but
it's more marketed now. It's smarter. It's harder to get rid of.
Speaking of blast from the past, LG is working on a WebOS smartwatch, according to The Verge. Yes, you heard me correct. WebOS.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, WebOS was the last version of an operating system developed by Palm. If you don't know who Palm is, well, pick up your smartphone. You can thank Palm for that. They were the pioneer of the PDA before the iPhone.
Yep.
Palm really is what Apple thinks they are.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Palm got bought by HP about, 3 or 4 years ago? Released a phone called the Palm Pixie?
Pixie,
Pre.
yeah.
Pre.
The Pre, yeah. It's Pre.
And the Pixie was the smaller one.
Yeah.
A very decent phone. WebOS was fine, but HP very quickly killed it. People speculate the reason why HP bought Palm was because they wanted the patents.
They want the patents.
And they are. Trust me. Once all the Apple, Samsung bullshit sorted out, HP's going to go in and say, ha, we were first. Because really, they were.
Mm-hmm.
But the WebOS was open source by HP and was sold off eventually to LG. Allegedly, LG is going to make a smartwatch that will run on WebOS. They already have some TVs that have WebOS built into it.
Yep.
But now they want to make their own watch with that as well. Looks like LG is gearing up to make the WebOS their platform of choice. What do you guys think? Good idea? Bad idea? What?
You can go first, Mario.
Well,
do you remember WebOS? Do you remember, Paul?
yeah, I do actually. I had a few, and I mean a few colleagues who had that. Wow, that reminds me back to college years. Whew. I just kind of wonder why. I mean, surely we can design. If you, I mean, and this is for a watch. It's not like we're asking to, put like Windows CE on this little thing just because we could.
Hey, I liked Windows. I ain't gonna go there. I have devices at work that still run Windows Mobile.
Oof, wow. I mean, if we're down to smartphones and it's more of a simplified version of an OS, well, simplify it down a little more and you get into a watch.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I see it. I think it's a slight bit of a waste of time.
Yeah, I think the watch market, I've said this before, is a fad.
Yeah.
I don't see it going anywhere. Interesting note in the article, the chief designers for the WebOS interface actually worked for Pebble. Yeah,
Von Schack and Demir, they were both appointed head design and head of product for Pebble now. So they're working with Pebble, and they're helping them further progress. Which I love Pebble. As I tend to always flaunt. I love my Pebble watch. My brother had one, which he pissed me off because he's like, I would have gave you mine. I'm like, well, you didn't fucking tell me until after the fact, as usual.
Yeah,
it's an awesome smartphone, and to be honest, when it comes to what smartwatch season, LG though, what they're doing, I mean, it looks like they're kind of staggering. They're picking up the pieces because they did lose those two head guys that helped design WebOS. But I figure if I were to, even though they put teasers on their site and everything, I don't expect to see this until probably a year, maybe even 2 years.
Maybe at CES, we'll see.
Maybe CES, we might see like a preview, but I'll be honest, LG is going to be late to the party on this. No matter what, they're going to be late, and
LG's never been the LG's always like, I can't really afford the Samsung. I'll go buy the
yeah, exactly. That's how. Yeah. It's true.
Hey, that's I still have my LG Motion loud and proud.
And I'll be honest, LG's best phones they ever made, only Verizon carried them.
Yes. The
Metro PCS. Hello.
The View 2, the Envy, and the View, and the View, VU
phones.
Yeah, those were good.
Yeah, all of them flip phone, or all of them candy bar or flip phones. None of them were.
Yeah, I know, right?
Phones.
When they got into touchscreens, it's not really their fault because Samsung, pretty much like they're the main. I mean, when it comes to touchscreens, in my opinion, they're the best.
What was their OS before Android? They had their own, didn't they?
Who? Samsung?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. It was
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but it was pretty much. But now it's funny you say that, and it's kind of going back to the previous article, but just to kind of.
Symbian was Nokia.
Well, no, what I was going to say is Samsung, in that aspect, if you really think about it, from day one when cell phones they started making them, has always tried to make a unified platform, whether it was their OS or whether it was Android. Because every Samsung you got, if you had one and it broke and you bought a new one a year later, you would know where everything is. It wasn't like, oh shit, where's this at? Where's that at? Because it was always usually the same. Maybe with a little added features or whatever.
Yeah, it was Samsung.
But
yeah.
I don't remember what their OS was called, but
yeah. It was pretty cool, I remember. But it worked.
Yep.
Good news if you live in the UK. It's now legal to make backups of movies, music, and ebooks in the UK.
You mean to say illegal?
No, it's legal.
Oh, it's legal. Okay.
Yeah, they don't have a DMC. They don't have a law like we do here in the States.
Let me just say, I'm so glad my private torrent site I belong to is hosted. Guess where? Brrr, the UK. That's right. Yeah, they're all Brits. They're all Brits that manage and run and
but
own.
you never download anything illegal from there. So what are you worried about?
Exactly. I just back up my stuff.
You get torrents. Legitimate stuff like I get a lot of Linux distributions from there.
Oh yeah. But
Yep.
Yeah. This doesn't surprise me.
Back in June, the United Kingdom outlined new copyright rules that would allow all citizens to make backups of the music. This is per Ars Technica. Allow them to make backups of their music, movies, and ebooks. Previously, making copies of media was illegal. Those of us here in the United States don't have that problem since the 1980s. I forgot the name of the law, but it's okay for you to make a private backup. Software companies and music companies and movie companies have been trying to stop this for years, but never could. Because in their mind, you own that copy. It is still illegal to share those backups with friends or families, however, of course, or media that a person pays for a subscription for. Likewise, still remains illegal. They are allowed to change formats, burning MP3s on a CD, for instance, but media vendors are allowed to use all kinds of DRM to keep users from doing that. Also, customers are not allowed to resell an original copy if they keep the duplicates. So, good for them. Welcome to the 20th century, UK, when it comes to copyright.
Yep, I agree. This is the way they have to go. I mean, at the end of the day, okay, look, I understand where the movie industry, the music industry, I get what they're saying. They want to make sure like they get their piece of the pie that they earn for their hard work. And it's not just, the artist. There's like, especially in movies, you have people behind the scenes that make, some make barely over minimum wage. Oh, yeah. And there's guys that work their ass off, and you're actually taking out of their pocket as well. I mean, let's be honest, you're probably taking more out of their pocket than the artist. I mean, because they're making millions, and it's like small butt shit to them. Even though I appreciate the fact, whether it be fake or real, that the artists do step up for their fellow, grunt workers or whatever, and say, look, we don't like this shit. But
if you don't make money, you can't.
Yeah,
there won't be a product. I mean, piracy is bad.
Exactly.
In that sense. But at the same time, the argument has always been, do you own what you buy? And they've been arguing that since the home video days. Sid Steinberg of Universal back in the day was the biggest stick in the mud with that. It's going to court, and the reason why these laws exist is mainly because of him. He wanted to argue that if you get a VHS tape, you should pay every time you watch it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my God.
Sid Steinberg, he was a dick. Although he did do one thing that was cool. He's the reason that King Kong is public domain.
All right.
He sued Nintendo. You know Howard Lincoln is, right? The old he's the former president in NLA. Yeah. He got the job because he sued Nintendo for Donkey Kong, saying we own the rights to King Kong because they made the remake in the 70s. The Jessica Lange, Charles Grodin one.
Jeff Bridges was in it, I think,
Jeff
too.
Bridges and Charles Grodin.
And Charles Grodin, yeah.
The one with Rick Baker in the monkey suit.
Rick Baker, yeah, exactly.
The face mask done by the guy who did E.T. I can't remember his name. God, I lose geek cred there. But they sued him, and it came out and said, actually, RKO made King Kong, and they don't exist anymore, and their copyright pretty much expired, so fuck you. And they won the case.
I'm having technical.
This is what really put Nintendo on the map, too, in terms of being a major game manufacturer.
Yep.
So, Steinberg tried to stifle this a lot, and people have been constantly trying to argue that you can't copy movies and media for backup purposes for ages. Hell, remember they tried to prevent the backup of game carts for a long time.
Yes.
Remember back in the days of game carts and CDs. And you can't really back up a game because you can't play it because of the various copyright protection. But, what do you think, Mario? Sorry, we've been talking over you the whole time.
No. It's perfectly fine. This one, I know you guys have a lot more knowledge than I do. But I mean, I lived through most of all this, obviously, because we've gone through that whole backing up and copyright and all this issues here. I mean, I agree with it. Basically, everything which you guys have mentioned. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, people do it. Does it harm? Does it truthfully do harm the actual industry? Yeah, you could definitely argue to say that guy making minimum wage, but yet that's the lighting crew, that's the camera crew guys here, and they're not making minimum wage, but they're not being paid nowhere near what the actors are in this case. With all that, with the birth of digital and info and just being all available to everybody, well, it's all good, but we'll always have the side that just says, well, it should just all be free for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You got to take the good with the bad.
Precisely.
That's pretty, like Matt said to me on Facebook.
You take the good with the bad with it, man. What can you do? There's not an absolute global regulation of this,
I'll talk to you about that offline. One of those scenarios I gave you in our Facebook debate actually did happen.
Oh, I haven't checked back on it recently. But, yeah.
One of the situations I gave you said it wouldn't happen, did happen. We'll talk about it later. It's awesome.
Gotcha.
Check out Facebook and our Facebook page if you want to know what we're talking about. Anyways, so our what the fuck article of the day. They want a movie.
Tetris movie. Oh my god.
Out of Tetris.
Yeah, I saw that and I went, what the fuck? Like, it's going to be
Tetris.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see who's producing it? Threshold.
Mortal Kombat.
Threshold is
Threshold,
producing it.
yeah.
Oh.
The makers of the Mortal Kombat movie series.
Yep.
Fight.
Listen, they're even thinking about doing a Minecraft movie. That's still slated and in the works. But
is character-ish.
That would be crazy.
I mean, they made Angry Birds into a movie. That was an article also this week, but I'm like, yeah, fuck that noise.
Did you see the people that's going to be in it, like doing the voices?
Yes, I was.
Smosh from YouTube is going to be in it. I'm like, what?
I was debating if we were going to talk about that, but this one trumped it.
Yeah, because Tetris is a movie. How I can imagine. Here's what I imagine.
Because they already made those short films for Angry Birds, didn't they? And supposedly they were pretty.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they are. They're very funny. But Tron. I can imagine something like Tron for Tetris.
All right. Yeah.
There is nothing that will work on this.
Nothing's going to really work.
No, I don't think this is going to work.
No.
I've played the game for a mere
Remember,
2.5
Tetris
hours.
Game for chicks.
That being said, here's a game that I played for roughly 30 minutes since I was 6 years old, all the way till now. Give or take, I'm going to have a shorter attention span watching the movie.
Yeah, the Russian theme song in the background.
Yes, I can play that if you guys want. But hey, they did a great job with Mortal Kombat the first time around.
Yeah, I'll give that one props. I left that movie smiling.
Yeah.
You're the only one. Well, no. Mortal Kombat was great. I love Mortal Kombat. Annihilation was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was.
But it was entertaining in its own really cheesy, kind of crappy way. Well, Carty and I saw that in theaters.
Oh, yeah, we did. That's right.
Etymology.
Remember how pissed off we were when we went to go see Annihilation? Like, what the fuck happened?
Mm-hmm.
We were pissed.
I think we officially saw that movies made from games can potentially be bad.
Well, Mario Brothers was before that, and we already had that established.
Double Dragon.
I have a soft spot for that movie.
Street Fighter.
Oh, God.
No. Even further.
Of course.
The Chun-Li Street Fighter movie.
Oh, my God.
Which was worse.
I hate Kristen Kruk. I hate that bitch. She cannot act. And so after she did that movie and she came back to Smallville, she's like, I am a ninja. Like,
I know.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one that noticed that. It's like, conveniently, this movie, she learned a lot of martial arts, and then she comes back to Smallville, and now all of a sudden she's like this spy kicking ass and shit. I'm like, what?
She's like a low-rent Black Widow.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, correction. She's like the Goodwill equivalent of no. She is the church thrift store version of Black Widow.
Man, pretty much.
Oof.
It's harsh, but
That's
anyway.
low.
So, were you guys big fans of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
I was.
Yeah, I saw they're making a sequel.
Yep.
Which
well, yeah, they are. For those who don't know, it's actually a book series. And Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, actually, I think it's like the third or fourth book. It's like the new hope of the series. Well, they are making a sequel to that actual movie. And,
yay!
But yeah, actually, we talked about that in one of our very early, one of our first episodes of 40W. We talked about that.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, that they were going to start working on it. Yeah, that's true.
I'm looking at a picture shot here. Is that Donnie Fan?
I don't know.
I think so.
I think so. But in any
I
case,
think that is him. Oh, that's going to be
I'm
good.
gonna put it on the screen here. Yeah, it might be. But the interesting thing is that they are going to be releasing it on Netflix. At the same time, they are releasing it in IMAX.
How do you do that?
Well,
they're going to do it,
wicked.
and they're pissing off. Yeah,
they pissed off Regal,
Regal and
AMC,
Cinemark.
Carmike, and Cinemark.
Cinemark.
So way to go! You've pissed off all the major theater chains.
Except for AMC. AMC's like, I don't give
AMC's
a
on
shit.
there.
Oh, are they?
They pissed
they
off
are now.
AMC too.
When I first read the article, at first they just said Regal and Cinemark, but now I just seen that
Yep,
it's
they pissed
wow.
off
Regal and
AMC
Cinemark.
too.
Everybody, shit,
Ooh.
that's bad. Because AMC, for those of you who don't know, I believe they are the leader in IMAX. They have the most IMAX theaters, right? Or is it Cinemark? Maybe.
Cinemark has their own knockoff, like the Big Picture. Or whatever.
Oh, the big screen by Sony or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Or Regal has the RPX thing, which is a little bigger screen and better sound quality, but you pay like $4 more.
$4 more, I know, but yeah, IMAX. I think in either case, man, it's
AMC's on the IMAX.
this what they're doing to, in my opinion. I mean, it's a little too early because
Didn't they try this with Tower Heist? Like $60
Yeah.
up online, and then the studio said the theater said, "You do this, we won't put your movie in theaters."
well, there's some movies that they
Actually, AMC was the one who led.
not
that
big movies like this, but there are other movies that released on cable. Like they would release it on cable.
Sex Tape.
You know,
Sex Tape was that way.
Sex Tape was, yeah. But,
Sex
you know,
Tape.
Ugh.
but I think they were helping. I think they were trying to help themselves out by doing that.
Well,
if you
Sex
ask
Tape
me.
wasn't a big deal like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2.
Exactly.
But then again, I don't expect this movie to make much money in U.S. wide.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see it, but
So will I.
the
Yeah.
martial arts fascination here in the States has kind of waned since the late 90s, early 2000s.
That's
happening.
about right. Yeah, I left school. I left high school, and it was turning into that dying genre.
The
Unfortunately,
internet kind of killed that.
Pretty much.
yeah.
Because those of us that want to see this movie will probably see it in a bootleg form before it ever hits the States.
So let me ask both of you guys
So
a
that's
question
why
out
they put
here.
Aaron Doctor Who weeks later here in the States.
Well, I mean, thankfully it's weeks, no longer months or a year. You know, even to wait to get over here. But I mean, it's not bad.
Movies or Doctor Who?
Well, Doctor Who in this case.
Doctor Who's day and date.
Oh well, hey.
We get Doctor Who like 5 hours after it airs in the UK.
But Japanese, there are a lot of Japanese imported stuff, like the big ones, like even Power Rangers. A lot of the
Well,
Dragon
Power
Ball
Rangers
Z,
isn't
Dragon Ball.
translated. Power Rangers is adapted. They take the Super Sentai footage.
Actually,
and
yeah,
put it
that's
over
kind of a
top.
bad example.
Yeah.
That's some different.
most
But Dragon
anime-
Ball,
But most anime
Yeah.
is not day and date at all. Although they do day and date the Japanese.
Lupin the Third is a good
Broadcast.
example.
Yep, they do day and date a lot of the Japanese stuff. Day and date it like a week later. I'm sorry, a week later, not day and date. A week later, the subbed versions. They do that.
Yeah.
Funmation's been doing that for like
Subversion, yeah.
Naruto and I think One Piece, and Crunchyroll does it with a lot of different shows too. I think they
Sailor
did
Moon
some
now is one of them
J-dramas,
too. Yeah.
So, what's your question, Mario? You said you had a question.
The question for both of y'all here, I mean, if I'm looking at this article right and what we're talking about, so Is this possibly something that could pick up where you can say, well, it's not going to be for every single type of big movie release or something like that, but you may have an occasional movie that, hey, you're going to get it on Netflix, on top of which you're paying for the service to watch it in your convenience of your house, or you go all the way to the theater and watch it on, the bigger screen, but with the hopefully the audience is very keen and nice and everybody's in good faith there to watch the movie rather than being on their cell phones. So my question is to you guys do you see this becoming bigger?
Well, that's what I was kind of saying in the beginning. If I can take first,
No,
Matt.
Yeah.
So I think this is too early, and I say
Okay.
early because we're just now getting to where there's so many multiple options for mobiles, mobile watching movies, watching from home. There's so many different ways you can do it now. Amazon offers service. You got Netflix. Soon down the road, you're going to have Warner Brothers will have their
Vudu.
own thing, which is Vudu. I forgot they got that. There's other companies that may do something, but the point is, I say it's too early because wait until all everyone's settled on, like, you're not going to have this looming in the background. I'm just saying, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but say Warner Brothers decided, say they didn't have something and they wanted to do something like Voodoo or whatever, or there wasn't nothing looming in the future. You know what I mean?
Well, they are.
Well, they are, but my point is,
people are leaving Netflix.
Right, but my point is,
well, not people, the studios.
But you're stop being a jackass for 5 seconds.
Done.
There's nothing looming in the background. There's not companies saying in the near future we're going to have something like Netflix. Once everyone has something and it's settled and there's different services or whatever, once it's to that point, then they should try this. It's just too early because there's so many different conflicts that could come up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, granted, the people that made it, the people putting it out, they're all set on what they're doing, but yeah, they're pissing the theaters off. Well, when it's more well established in 2-3 years down the road, then theaters really can't say shit because let's be honest, the theaters, it's getting to a point where it's kind of like going to a theme park or going to the zoo. It's like it's like, okay, it's nice to go once in a while, but it's not going to be a regular thing like it used to be, for the last 20, 30, 40 years. Because it's just too expensive.
Well,
I mean,
nobody goes to the movies to watch the movie.
No,
They're
sadly,
on their damn cell phones.
Social interactions.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
Shut the fuck up.
It should be like it was in the old day, right, Matt? What have we talked about many a times? How back in the day, like we wanted to open a theater, we still do, where you had ushers. The ushers enforced the rules heavily. They stayed in the theater. The doors closed and were locked from the outside only whenever the previews were starting. So you couldn't just come in at the last minute, talking to your girlfriend or whatever the fuck, and fuck that. Yeah,
you talk, you're banned.
Yeah, they give you one warning, maybe. Flash their little light in your face. Listen, shut the fuck up, or you're out of here. They did it again, they're gone. Yep. Period.
That's why me and my wife went this route of just Netflix, Hulu, and no cable, and barely going to the movie theater because, stuff like this, man.
I get my projector in my living room, I will no longer be going to the movie theater except for very specific movies. In fact, I think
like Star Wars,
Godzilla.
And Star Trek.
I think actually I've
Star Trek.
seen... maybe I didn't go Star Trek. I have seen maybe 6 movies in theaters this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen much. Me and Matt used to see a lot.
Captain America, Guardians, Godzilla, How to Train Your Dragon 2. 4. I've seen 4 movies.
I've seen 5 or 6, I think. 5 or 6. That's it. Yep.
No, sorry, 4. Transformers. Yes, I did.
I didn't go see Ghostbusters. Because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah, me either. I remember me and Matt, we talked about we were going to do that, go see the Ghostbusters, but fuck that, man.
Got the Blu-ray. It looks great.
Exactly. The Blu-ray looks fine.
Ready, man.
But Matt has awesome sound, so once he gets his videos taken care of, there's really no point. And I guess that's the whole thing about my point is not just things coming well established, but more people are going to have home entertainment systems that are like out of this world. So who gives a? So what's the value of going to a theater when nobody really goes to watch?
Do you think when 4K finally takes off, and we have 4K Blu-ray or whatever service they have available?
Oh yeah.
And the projectors get to a reasonable price, or the displays get up to a size and reasonable price, that people will stop going to the movies. Now, I think the real reason people stop going to the movies isn't because of, well, for one, modern movies usually suck. I mean, how many movies have we had out this year that were not sequels?
Yep.
That were good?
That's true. That's true.
We've had, I think, one incredibly successful movie, which, regardless of the fact it is somewhat tied to a previous established brand, which is Guardians of the Galaxy, did phenomenally well.
Yes.
Outside of this. But that was a flash in the pan compared to other movies that just bombed. I mean, every big movie we've had this year was Transformers, Captain America 2, the Amazingly Stoned Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, right.
Dude, he was fucking stoned in that whole movie.
He had to have been.
Whoa, man. Jesus. I'm like fighting a Green Goblin. Where's my pizza? But, oh, dude, don't tell me Andrew Garfield was not stoned in that movie. And people are like, oh my God, the relationship is so awesome in that movie. What movie were you watching? Because I don't think you were watching the same movie I was watching. Back on topic, Godzilla.
Awesome.
These are all movies, though, that have built-in fan bases. Guardians had nothing, and it was lucky. But we mostly get the same crap all the time. And I haven't seen anything that made me say, wow, this is like what it felt like to see. To me, I think the last movie that made me say, wow, this is something new and great, other than Guardians, was The Matrix.
Yep, I was just about to even point that out.
Yeah, The Matrix.
That movie, 1999, that movie is what revolutionized and just said, we like sci-fi, we like all the cool stuff, but it's time that we absolutely throttled the special effects.
Not just
in combination with the story, it just worked.
Yeah, it brought movies to where we are. It was the new Star Wars. The Matrix was the new Star Wars. Now, we've had other movies that maybe have done things differently, like, Dark Knight and Batman Begins were good comic book movies and made the comic book movie more acceptable. But I don't give Dark Knight or Batman Returns that. I give Iron Man and the Marvel Cinematic Universe more credit than I will ever give the Nolan movie.
Seriously, still loading?
Because in my mind, those were more influential on what happened with comic book movies than Batman.
Yeah.
And I love Batman Begins. I love The Dark Knight. I think they're great movies.
Absolutely.
But I think Iron Man and those movies pushed them to the mega blockbusters that we currently have more than the Nolan films did. The Nolan films were successful, but they're not the reason why these superhero movies are successful now.
Exactly.
Look at Man of Steel. I mean, I love Man of Steel, but it didn't do nearly as well as any of these other movies have done.
And that's where I think you had a combination of a few things with Iron Man. You had good writing, at least to say in the first one, it was in good writing. You had a actor that, hey, he did his...
Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Yes, he is. He was put on this earth to be Tony Stark.
But, yeah, and, he even said... he'll do Iron Man 4.
Yep.
If Mel Gibson directs it.
What's your take on that?
Well, I like Mel Gibson as a professional. Personally, bit of a douche. mega douche maybe. But I like Robert Downey Jr. I've been a fan of Mel Gibson. I like The Passion of the Christ. I heard Get the Gringo is really good. I haven't seen that yet. Apocalypto was interesting. I think he is a interesting choice. I understand Robert Downey Jr. is friends with him. He sees Mel Gibson as kind of a kindred spirit in a damaged person kind of way, who's kind of trying to redeem himself. But I like Mel Gibson, so I think it would be interesting. What do you think, Carty?
Sorry, I had a slight delay there. My son, of course, if your son isn't interrupting you, my son interrupts me. So there,
Actually, it's the first time he's ever interrupted us recording.
Yeah.
So Mel Gibson, Iron Man 4.
I think, to be honest with you, as much as he was being serious, I think he said that as a kind of like, I know it'll never happen, so yeah, why not? That's kind of because I could see Robert Downey being that kind of guy that would do that. That would say, just pick some person that would never probably do it to do it, and then just hinge it on that. I don't know. I mean, if he's serious, great. Because let's be honest, Mel Gibson is actually a decent director. He is. Passion of the Christ, regardless if you're religious or not, was well put together. It was directed really well.
I'll tell you right now, if Robert Downey Jr. goes to Disney and says, "I will do Iron Man 4 if you let Mel Gibson direct," they will just say, "Okay." Because they know no matter what
they will.
happens,
Oh, they will.
It will make a shitload of money.
Oh yeah, Robert Downey's got there's no way they'll say no, because why would they?
They won't admit it, but he is the driving force of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when he goes out on stage,
go figure, right?
You
of
look
all
at
the
him
characters,
stage,
Iron Man.
Well, he was the first, and really, whenever you hear him talk in interviews, they all talk about him, and he's kind of their guiding force. He was the reason they get paid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he went to Disney or Marvel at the time. I think it was even before Disney bought Marvel, and said, "Look, I'm making money. My co-stars aren't making shit. Fix it or I walk."
Yep. And now they
I will
are.
help stage a revolt. Because he's like not cool. Of course,
in a way to say Robert Downey Jr. for Marvel, I want to say he was the actor that got the superhero right. Because you want to say prior to Iron Man, we were developing up with the Hulk, and what other movies came prior to Iron Man? I mean, I'm a little hazy on this one. Or is it just the Hulk only?
Well, X-Men, there's...
Well, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the first one was Iron Man.
Was Iron Man, yeah, that was the first.
And I think he was the one that just simply, when you saw it, once you left that theater, you said, Iron Man is here. Somewhere out there, I don't care if it is Robert Downey Jr. or not, Tony Stark is flesh and blood somewhere. Yeah. That's what I think people grasped and got that so strongly.
Oh, yeah.
He is there somewhere.
What made Iron Man great was the simple fact that for the first time you've more or less created... They made a comic book movie.
Yeah.
And they've attempted time and time again, and this is the first real one they've made probably since Batman '89.
Yeah.
X-Men was an interesting attempt. I like the X-Men movies, but they kind of tried to go the route a little too serious, a little too real, if I dare say.
What about Superman? Don't forget about Superman.
No, Superman was the first comic book movie.
Yeah.
But to me, the first one since Batman '89 was Iron Man. Because it felt like a comic book. The Punisher, sort of, but the Punisher wasn't successful, so it doesn't count.
Well, wait, what about the Batman movie made back in like the 30s or whatever? The black and white one.
I'm talking about the first one since Batman '89 that was a real comic book.
Right.
The one that really felt like a comic book.
Like a comic book,
They weren't
yeah.
trying to make it real or gritty. Like like the Nolan films. Those aren't comic book movies. I'm sorry, they're not. They start comic book characters, but they don't feel like comic book movies, except for the last one, but I hate that fucking movie. But...
And that's, I had not an argument. I had, at the job. On the weekends, we would talk about Batman: The Dark Knight after it came released on theaters, and I kept telling everybody, and I said, everything about the movie feels like it's split down the line somehow. And here's what I thought: for the characters, Batman, Commissioner Gordon, the Joker, everybody in the character was in character. Everybody was exactly in character to the T. But why is it that I felt as if the setting, Gotham's look, where they all had to interact, felt as if, they were shooting this in Chicago as they said they were. Like, it kind of does look like Chicago. It doesn't really look like Gotham.
No.
That's where I felt like that slight disconnect was, but I was willing to forgive it. I was willing to forgive it because the acting was great.
Have you seen Gotham? You
Yes.
have. Chris, you seen Gotham?
Oh yeah, both episodes.
That is Gotham.
Yes,
It
it
is
is.
Gotham.
That is Gotham.
That is the Gotham City I know in the comics. Not the Antoine Faust version, that Fierce version that Tim Burton did. The Gothic architecture. No, this is the dirty, gritty Gotham City that I wanted in comics for so long, or on the live screen. What do you guys think of Gotham? I know it's a side tangent, but what do you guys think? We
great.
talked about it recently, Mario and I, but Mario hadn't seen it yet, so.
Yeah, it's, to be honest, it's a step in the right direction. I mean, it's we saw, you obviously had Smallville, and that ran for as long as it did, but let's be honest, it strayed from the comics a lot. It did its own thing.
Seasons were the best.
And it created this thing called, it's this new way of doing shows now called CWing it. And it's when that's where you get Vampire Diaries.
Hey, I like Arrow. Fuck you. I like Arrow.
Arrow really didn't have that much CWing in it. It was done right to
It's also
an extent.
streakified.
And Flash looks like it's going to be amazing, like even better than Arrow. But the thing with Gotham is they're finally realizing after they did The Dark Knight that it's okay to plunge into the comics more and to even go even a step further and really deliver an authentic product. And that is what they're doing with Gotham. And it's going to, and here's what gets me, like, it itches the back of my head when I hear these fucking idiots online that don't know shit that are like, oh, where's Batman at? I just want to, every person who says that, I want to punch every one of them in the throat.
Look.
Because, look, you don't need Batman in it to make it work.
Did any of you ever read the GCPD comics?
I actually read a couple.
They were great.
They were great, yeah.
Short
definitely.
run, the original writers left and they canceled the book.
They did, yeah.
But
I got the graphic novel. It has a collection of all their best ones.
Some of the best storytelling in DC Universe were in those books. And it was all about the major crimes unit and the Gotham PD and, how they deal with situations when they're like, we don't need fucking Batman. They made the Gotham PD useful.
Yep.
And you see, wow, they deal with some heavy-handed shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Gotham kind of goes in that direction. They're to me, I always wanted to see a story about Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you're in a universe where to me they are the more interesting character because Batman's Batman. I'm brooding. I got toys. I'm a detective, but he's dark and brooding. I'm the goddamn Batman. Gordon is always portrayed in the movies, at least, except for the more recent ones, and in most media, not very competent. Do shit.
And can I just add on to that real quick? That being said, that is exactly why a lot of people really didn't get or like Batgirl, who was portrayed by his daughter, Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they didn't really get it because they just thought, oh, it's a girl being like Batman. What they didn't understand is Barbara Gordon was a badass, just like her dad, but nobody really knew Gordon was a badass.
Remember why
you know what
she
I mean?
was created and where she was created. She was not created for the comics. She was created for a TV show
wasn't.
in the 60s.
TV show, right?
No, there was a Batgirl before that.
Yeah.
A Batwoman and a Batgirl, but they were completely unrelated characters.
Unrelated, right?
They were created to make Batman and Robin seem less gay. So they gave them somewhat love interest.
Yeah.
I shit you not, that's the real reason it exists. Although Batwoman was reintroduced into DC Universe as a lesbian, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, exactly.
Irony!
Irony, exactly.
The character that was created to make other characters not look gay is now gay. Yeah. But, Batgirl was always kind of forced. I always preferred Barbara Gordon as Oracle, personally.
Oracle, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's brains. Smart. Yeah, very a tactician.
Oracle than she ever been as Batgirl.
Oh, yeah.
I like Cassandra Cain as my favorite Batgirl. I don't know if you guys know who that is. She's a mute former assassin, and she used to not talk, but what she could read your body language was her language, was body language. So she could know what you were doing before you do it. Amazing character.
Wait, you didn't like Alicia Silverstone's version?
Fuck you.
That,
But
I will say this on behalf of all Batman fans. No.
No.
And I will actually defend Batman and Robin. But
let's not go too.
For the last time, it is a great adaptation of the 1960s Batman TV series. It is a great adaptation.
Yes, it is.
It is not the 1989.
Not meant to meet seriously.
It is not the dark Batman.
It is not to be seen as a sequel with Batman 1 or Batman Returns. It's not to be seen as type of sequel.
No, it should not be. But in fact, what they were afraid of those movies, what they were afraid of Batman being, it became, which is weird. They actually didn't want to originally make that when they made '89. That's what they were afraid of, was making what Batman and Robin turned into. And eventually they decided that was what they wanted. But back on topic. Mario, what did you think of Gotham?
I think it was great. Yeah. I mean, from the very first couple of parts, get to see the whole. Yeah, not to say cliche, but yeah, you get to see the whole Bruce Wayne, piece right there, and then you get to see all that rest of the stuff from Gordon. I definitely like how gun-ho Gordon is, but cautious but gun-ho in a way. I kind of mentioned to my wife, I said, well, he's got the personality down to the way I think I'm going to really like Gordon. He just has to grow the mustache now. That's all he's got to do. That's all he's got to do now.
He didn't have the mustache, I think, until he was older.
Yeah.
But everything else, the characters, the little hints here and there of the bad guys, I'm hoping, like you've said on the many occasions, Matt, is that I hope they don't bring out too many. Because if you do, it may spoil. So it's almost like the show now is be cautious, listen to feedback, and I'm hoping your writers are being thorough about this.
They did show a preview reel for. It looks like they're going to have Victor Zsasz. Which I'm fine with.
He has to be definitely
interesting.
Fine.
Interesting.
And they're also going to have Professor Pig.
Professor
He's a more
Pig.
modern villain. In case you don't know, he is one crazy motherfucker. Professor Pig. He controls people and turns them into doll people and controls them. He was actually in Beware the Batman, a show I will not watch. But
so he's kind of like a Mad Hatter, but much
a mix between Mad Hatter and the Doll Man. You know the Doll Man?
Yes.
He's kind of he's a darker version of the Doll Man.
He's darker, more sadistic, and more twisted, and is probably one of the more twisted Batman villains.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an interesting character to choose. And I think that what they're going to do is delve into the lesser used villains more than the other than Penguin, which that is probably the guy who plays Penguin is a standout character in that show in my mind. They're going to hopefully concentrate more on the smaller villains, the villains we didn't see too much. Then whip out the big ones like Freeze or Joker or Two-Face or things like that.
So we're going for the villains with the psycho problems, but it was kind of like testing the waters.
Well, you have to remember.
You're right.
You have to remember Arkham, as they establish in the first and you'll see in the second episode. It's the only spoiler I'll give you. They'll talk a little bit about Arkham Asylum.
Nice.
You'll hear a reference to it.
If you watch the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Arkham Asylum is closed right now in their world. Like on this episode, it's still closed. But the Waynes were trying to get it reopened, which I think inevitably it will be reopened. Maybe,
It will.
who knows, it'll be probably at the end of the season.
Watch that
whatever.
preview reel I told you about.
Yeah,
They pretty
yeah.
much explained they're building Arkham City.
Yeah, and see,
And
they
they
have to
show the
fill
plan
Arkham
for it and
with
everything.
right, and they have to be, they have to be able to put villains in there, and that's the whole point of Arkham City is to host all these special, screwed up in the head individuals like, Black Mask and your Riddlers and all that stuff.
Watch that sizzle reel they showed. It's on YouTube. It's the season sizzle reel. They show Victor Zsasz. They show Arkham. Arkham looks like it's going to factor in pretty heavy into this season, and maybe the centerpiece of it, of the
Probably,
reopening Arkham and their plans for it.
To clean up the city, that makes sense.
They show a lot of cool stuff, but like the relationship between Bullock and Gordon growing, and Penguin's going fucking crazy.
Oh
It'll
yeah,
be interesting to see. I'll watch this the whole way through because, to me, this is a story I've been wanting to see. I'm more interested in this than a Batman story.
oh yeah, big time. And I think people that were wanting Batman will end up realizing, man, this is great. Because, and by the way, Mario, I know you made the comments about, like, of course they had to do the Bruce Wayne thing with his backstory. To be honest, that had to be done, and it had to be done because not just for the fans' sake, but that was such a crucial turning point in Gotham's direction that they had to do it. I mean, whether they did it now or whether they did it
The death of the Waynes was a major
big.
blow.
And I apologize for saying it like a cliche like that. I apologize. I meant to. I should have let it.
Oh,
come
no, you
out.
have to apologize.
I should have let it come out more as okay.
I know what you meant.
Like the first 3 seconds, boom, that was there. I'm like, could have made that go in 5 or 6 minutes. Then you could have led up to that. That's what's more. I kind of was more getting
I
at.
think what they don't want to do is make it a Batman show.
Sure.
They
And
wanted
they're
to
not.
get it out of the way. That makes sense. They
don't
wanted to say,
the Smallville Batman.
"Oh,
They
Bruce
don't want
Wayne
that.
died. He's going to become Batman in the future. Let's move forward now." Let's go now. They want to move it along.
All
I
right,
get
Bruce
it.
Wayne. We'll see you in season 5 or
Well,
7
they did
or 8.
say they do want him to put on the cowl at one point, but so you're going to have some time skipping unless you want the show to run for 20 years.
Yeah, really. Yeah, Gotham will turn into the Batman or some shit.
Gotham will be The Simpsons. It is
It'll
on
be like,
Fox.
or
Don't
they
worry,
could do
just like Fox, they'll fuck it up, air it out of order, and get canceled.
or you could do like Smallville, run it for 10 seasons, and then finally the last episode, Batman appears.
Or to be
That was
like
always the
Firefly,
plan. That
and
was
be
the
really
plan.
good, and then they canceled.
To be
it.
fair, that was the plan in Smallville since the pilot.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was always the plan. They've
To me,
always said that since the beginning. Mark Verhoeven and Michael, the producers always said, no flights, no tights. The last shot of the series will be him in this costume. That is the last shot. They've always said that.
Mhm.
That it was in the Bible, that the show Bible. That was never going to change. That's why he never could fly until the final episode, because it was forbidden in the show.
Oy.
You know how hard they had to fight to get Lois Lane?
Man.
Pretty sure a
yeah.
lot.
Speaking of fighting for TV, Chris, you are an NFL fan.
Yeah. For the most part.
Well, it was recently ruled that the NFL, the FCC will no longer enforce the NFL blackouts.
Yes.
Now, this doesn't mean the NFL's blackouts will stop. It just means the FCC will not enforce it.
Exactly.
In other words, the
In other
NFL
words.
just lost a bargaining chip. Because
Yep.
now, when the NFL comes to go to TV, they can say, we don't want blackouts. Because before, the FCC would say, you have to take this provision. Now you don't. On top of that, John McCain, which one of the few things John McCain I do agree with him with, he has been very big on this opening up the TV system. He's part of the a la carte, these group of people want a la carte systems of TV channels. You pick the channels you want.
Exactly.
Get
I would
rid
love
of
if it
these
was like that.
bullshit deals where you get ESPN, but you also get these fucking channels you never watch because they're owned by the same company.
Yep. Yep.
So he's trying to do that, but he says that if the NFL does not get rid of blackouts, they will try to get rid of their antitrust exemption.
Yep. So
bad news for the NFL. By the way, I think I just read an article too that the NFL just re-signed their deal with DirecTV till 2021.
Yep.
So those of you that dream of NFL streaming, keep dreaming.
Keep dreaming.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want it, you got to get DirecTV.
Allegedly, the only thing that would have kept the AT&T DirecTV buyout would have been if they lost that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Chris? You're an NFL guy. Mario and I are not.
Well, it's
well, you don't
the thing.
care. Your team isn't even in this market.
Fuck you, man. Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, you forget Bright House has a lot of channels like Sunshine Network, a lot of Florida channels, stuff down in South Florida too. So you can actually pick up, But you're right. We're not in the market.
Games, but they don't black out Dolphin games.
They don't black them out here, right? Because we're not in the market. Right, but here's the thing, like, okay, blackouts are done because that particular stadium, the home team did not sell enough tickets to justify broadcasting because they have to sell enough tickets to be able to cover the cost for putting this on the air because they have to pay. I mean, it's not like the NFL says, okay, well, we got this, we'll bring cameras in. No, they got to pay for that shit. The owners do. So, and plus, it kind of makes even sense, too. Like, if you don't have a full stadium, you want to advertise. Advertising's really big. That's their big moneymaker. So who they get advertised to? Like 20 people in the stands? I mean, come on.
To be fair. But every sport doesn't have these rules, except for football.
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
Baseball, hockey, basketball. Shit.
Yeah.
If they have blackout rules for the Devil Rays, a single fucking game would ever be on TV.
Well, and there wouldn't be a lot of people watching it. Well, I mean, because there's already problems, as we know, as living in Tampa, problems getting over there and all that shit. It's in the wrong part of town. But anyway, the problem, the thing with blackouts is that, to be honest, it's kind of unfair to the fans because people can't go to the stadium, spend like tons of money because it's a lot of money.
When you scream no, you got to go no.
I know he just I guess lost.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your rant. I had to.
No, it's fine.
Episode 3.
It's playing Smash Brothers, but anyway, yeah, the thing is that you can't. I understand why they do it, but they can't. I'm glad that this is happening because no other sport does it. And it's kind of an injustice to those fans that, to be honest, can't afford to go to the damn game.
No.
I mean, it's expensive.
No.
Yes, it is.
Very expensive.
No, it isn't like when you could spend, $20, go to a game, get some food, and enjoy a football game. You cannot go to a football game for probably under $100.
No, not at all. You're going to spend $100, and then you're not to mention food and.
By the way,
get anything
interesting
else.
fact. So, for Tampa Bay, at least, from what I've heard, all the money for the food doesn't go to the stadium. Right.
Where does
to the pockets of the team.
Oh shit!
All money made during a Bucks game goes to the team. Everything. Parking, stadium, everything goes to the team. Not like a movie. Movie studio, okay.
Wait, that's fucked up because remember, they had to vote to have Tampa, we voted, if you lived in the Tampa area, you voted.
Alleged, from what I've heard, they don't pay to use the stadium either. You get to host an NFL team. That's a privilege.
Wow.
They pay less than none of the teams do. Because you host an NFL team, and it gets you a stadium, and it gets you people into the stadium for other events. But the fucked up thing is they make all the money off these things. The NFL these football teams make all this money. It isn't like a movie. Yeah. Okay, why people bitch? Why is food so expensive in movies? Because 90% of the box office take goes to the movie studios. All the money the theater makes comes from concession. If you want your theater to stay in business, you need to buy concession.
Yep.
Seriously.
That's
that
it. Yeah.
That pays the bills for the theaters. That's why I don't sneak food into theaters or anything. I pay because that's how I support my local theater.
Yeah, because even though I understand you want to save money and this and that, maybe you have a specific kind of food, but you also need to think of the bigger picture here. It's also supposed to be for the experience. You go to a movie, you buy popcorn, you buy nachos. Dude, I think your internet your internet sucks dick, man. Let's be honest.
Keep talking because your little thing's flashing.
Well, anyway.
That was weird.
Yeah,
keep going.
Anyway, anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you go for the experience.
It sucks ass more than mine does.
No, it doesn't. Sometimes, but anyway. Yeah, it does. Never mind. It's fucking terrible.
Keep going.
See how that escalated quickly? It just went from no to, it's fucking garbage. Yeah, so I mean, it's an experience. Just like you go to the zoo, or when you get the coin and you run it through the machine to get your little pressed whatever the fuck, a picture of a monkey fucking another monkey or whatever. Yes, there's actually that. If you go to Laurie Park, I'm kidding. It's not there. But yeah, it's the experience. You get popcorn, nachos, the candy. There's like that certain kind of movie candy, like snow caps and Milk Duds and stuff like that, and the chocolate covered almonds. I mean, it's the experience. It's not so much about the money. In my opinion, if you go to
leaves now to go get a bunch of snacks.
Shut the fuck up. But listen, in all honesty, and this is my opinion, just like the whole Usher thing, if you're gonna go to the movies, don't go on a cheap budget. Like, okay, well, we're gonna scrounge just to barely go, and let's bring food. Don't do that. If you have to do that, don't even go. Don't even bother. It's not even worth it. Go when you have money to spend. Just like if you go out to a restaurant, a nice restaurant, you don't obviously go to a nice restaurant to, scrounge here and there. Just drink water, guys. Don't get sodas or whatever. I mean,
No, you do go not to drink the soda anymore. Dude, it's like $3 a soda now. What the fuck?
You cheap fuck. Whatever. Well, I also drink water because I'm trying to cut down on drinking sodas, which is funny because I'm drinking freaking root beer right now. But this is the first soda I've had in like 3 weeks.
Shame. No, not bad though.
Yeah, what makes Barks root beer different than any other root beer?
It has bite.
Yes. It does.
You don't remember those commercials? Man, those commercials.
It's caffeinated. It is the only caffeinated.
It's the caffeinated root beer. Yeah, it's the only one. Yeah. If you ever look at the bottle, it does not. Usually, it says no caffeine. Usually, on like mug root beer A&W, it does not say that on Barks because that's why. That's why Barks has bite. That's where that came from. Is because it has caffeine. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, it's funny you bring that up.
Drink Barks. I do not like the taste. Anyway,
I like.
Anyway,
I know who that is.
I mean, I think this is a good move for the NFL. The NFL's got a lot of problems lately, but I think this is a good step for the NFL to get up with the modern age. Blackout rules are stupid. They can make plenty of money off TV if they know how to do it, and they can make plenty of money. MLB does. Hockey. Whenever people watch hockey and basketball, I don't know.
I think inevitably what they're going to realize when they start not blocking out shit anymore, they're going to start to realize, wow, actually, why did we do this before? Because I guarantee you that's what they're going to do. They're going to realize, why didn't we do this before? Because they're going to see a positive, not a negative out of this.
Okay. Let's breeze through these last 2 topics. Tell me if you want to talk about them or not. Lightning round. First up. Adam Sandler is making 4 new movies for Netflix. Do you guys give a shit? Yes or no?
I don't give a flying fuck.
Not really.
Yeah. Way to go, Netflix. Lower your standards.
Not since the Zohan.
And
oh my God.
Baywatch, the movie. Guess who is starring?
It's not David Hasselhoff.
It's
Mario
not David. Who is it?
Guess. Who do you think would fit in David Hasselhoff Speedos? or red
God.
shorts.
The Rock?
El Rock.
Yes.
The Rock. What the? Oh man, that's.
Do you want to
okay.
talk about it or skip?
I'm definitely skipping that because what
Just so
the
you
hell?
know, The Rock makes everything awesome.
He does. He actually does.
He made the second G.I. Joe movie good. That and less Channing Tatum.
Oh my God.
Seriously, I'll watch anything with The Rock. He is an entertaining bastard. He is entertaining. Even that crappy Tooth Fairy movie and The Game Plan, I think it was called.
Well, I don't know if you heard this. Well, you remember we talked about this. Not on. This is before we started 4TW, but me and Matt have talked about it. Where that's the whole reason the GI Joe movie got pushed almost 6 months, almost a year past when it was supposed to come out.
Because of a
The original shooting, they had a lot of Channing Tatum in it, so they decided to back off of him.
No, they had
And it was
nothing in the sequel.
Yeah, well, he was in it. Channing Tatum was only in like the first 10 minutes of the movie or some shit, or 15 minutes. And that was it.
And then Magic Mike happened. He blew up, and they needed more Channing Tatum. All the stuff with him and The Rock and them gaming and shit, all that was added later because, to be honest, he did have good chemistry with The Rock. I will give him that.
Yep.
But okay, so big news of the week, and this is going to be our main topic for the night. Microsoft finally announced the newest version of Windows. Not Windows 9. No. Windows 10.
That's right. X. Boom. No, they can.
X.
Windows
They're not.
X.
They can't do that because then that would
He
be
used
copying,
brand X. Love that Joker. Okay.
which is great. Great reference to Batman, by the way. That's good. That's good.
That was good.
He used brand X.
All right. So,
That's good.
Mario, you have been using Windows X. I will call it
Yes.
Windows X. 'Cause that's
Yes, I have.
What do you
Last
think?
2 days. Well, here's what I pretty much my thoughts. Number one, I've touched 8 about as much as probably anybody who's been steering away.
As much as Chris has touched a woman.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
About as much as probably the next person who was a little antsy about, oh, no, it looks way too different than what I'm used to on my 7. Honestly, I think Microsoft finally is going in the right direction. Finally, at this point, first of all, when you first install the OS, you're not presented with a tablet. Look at me, I'm all tablet formatted, but yet I'm on your desktop. Love me. It's like, no, here's your lovely desktop like Windows 7, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a Windows 8 fling. So it looks like what Microsoft's doing, they're meshing together the best things of what 7 gave you and basically sprinkling over the slight prettiness of 8 in a way, or 8.1 you want to say. Couple examples would be like when you hit your start button or the Windows icon now at the bottom corner, as everybody should know that by now. At this point, you do get very much a similar look like 7. You do have your all
the start menu
and all
really
that.
is back.
It's really back.
Yes, it is.
I saw
Most
the pictures of it. It looks just like Windows 7, just a little cleaner.
No,
it
looks like it's got the live tiles on it too.
It does, yeah. It looks like it. Yeah.
If you go to my Facebook page, I actually posted that up on my timeline if you guys want to look at it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And a couple things a couple I will point out already out the gate that I like. I like the tiles on the side with the start button complementing it. So it's pretty much kind of saying this. Okay, here's where you want to do a couple of quick things, check some programs. But if you also need to, you can quickly click on an app like Netflix or Hulu, and boom, you're right into the app. It loads it up. Go ahead and watch your movies instead of opening up the browser, going to the website, signing on, and then finally watching your movies on Netflix on your PC. I gotta say that right there already enough complements it really nicely. You can still customize where you want all the tiles to be, resize them, put them in whatever way you want.
Mario, that's going to make a good difference on laptops, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Laptops, that's going to be 100%. A big helpful thing.
100%. Yeah. Couple other things that I noticed. I mean, yeah, it does come with some hiccups. There are a couple driver issues. A little bit with the
That's
audio.
bound to happen.
Remember,
though.
it's not
Yeah,
it's not the final version. It's just a tech preview.
No. It's just a tech preview. There is a feedback app there that works really well. They have broken it down by almost everything you can think of, from how is the networking working, how is the tiles working, or just your general feedback so far, what you found and what you like and didn't like. So far, the only little hiccup that's a little weird is when you make a secondary account, let's say me or my wife or whatever in this case, and let's say she's a person of habit that doesn't really want to, let's say, as an example, she doesn't like a password when she has to log into her computer. Windows 10, I think, still works off Windows 8.1, where it's like you kind of sort of need it, but if you don't want it, Microsoft doesn't really recommend doing it. If you don't put a password on it and you switch into that person who doesn't have a password, you almost can't switch back to my profile.
Do they force you to get Windows Live?
No, Microsoft at this point, when you start up the account profile, it says you can use a Windows Live account if you have one, or they have a button that says, or you can use your own favorite actual
Thank
email.
God, because on Windows 8 they tried to shove that down your damn throat.
Yeah, they do, and the only reason I did it was because I already had one.
I don't want to do
yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, that part was like, oh, thank you. So I linked it to my Gmail account, and it was pretty seamless. Put in the operating system was good. Registering was pretty simple. Nothing too bad so far.
What Microsoft did, and I saw the press release. Haven't seen their conference or their announcement, unfortunately. But they put emphasis on enterprise. And pretty much that's all they talked about was enterprise.
Enterprise.
Enterprise. One to be up. Okay. So, because Microsoft completely lost focus of enterprise with 8. I'll even agree to that. And I am an advocate of Windows 8. It was not enterprise ready. Being a part of a Windows migration, I pushed for 8 but wasn't able to because of the fact there were a lot of enterprise features that were completely missing. Microsoft fixed it.
Yep.
The other cool thing is the command line, which I use quite heavily. Hey, I can copy-paste.
You can paste now. How about that?
With Control V. And you can
Control
select
V.
individual text from the box. Thank you. And it has multiple desktops. For those of you who use Linux and know what that may probably know what that is. Those of you who do not, multiple desktops means you click a button and it brings up a whole different desktop, and you can switch between different types of desktops. Very useful for if you're someone like me who does video editing and gaming, but want 2 different desktop views for what your tasks are. You can do that.
Right.
You can do that.
I will want to.
There are add-ons for this for Windows, but this is the first time I've seen it integrated. So,
if you were talking about 10, yeah, it's also there too. I was able to do that too. I'm like, whoa, multiple desktops.
Windows
Awesome.
10 is KDE.
KDE, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, or no, more like KDE because KDE is kind of more like Windows. But Microsoft, congratulations, you're going back in the right direction.
Literally going back.
Yeah.
Well, the Metro is not gone.
Yeah, it's not gone.
If
but
you use tablets, and supposedly there's a mode where if you go into tablet mode, because some computers are convertibles, it'll switch.
They showed that at the press conference. They actually showed a Surface Pro 3 with 10, and when you not as of yet, but pretty much I think what they're proposing is that when you connect the keyboard, it gives you a prompt that says, do you wish to switch into a desktop mode? And it's like a yes or no. But when you detach the keyboard, kind of the same question pops up and say, hey, do you want to go back into tablet mode?
Yeah.
So either you make it seamless or do you make it prompt? I think that right there should be customized. Should kind of say that depends on the user. If the user wants it seamless, as long as the hardware can support to do it, sure. If they don't want the prompt, if they do want it, sure.
Do me a favor. Can you tell me what the version number or the version number of this Windows is? Do you know how to check that?
No, actually, no, I don't. Hold on.
Go to the control panel. Go to system.
Okay.
Pull it up anymore. Never mind. I was kind of curious if this was still Windows 6 or not.
I'll check it out. I'll see if I can check it out next time.
Yeah.
Though
I don't know. Windows 8 and 7 is really Windows 6, which was Vista. They've just splashed new coats of paint on it. It is not a new version of... Yes, it is still Windows 6.4. Which is actually, I think, 8 is 6. Yep. 8 is 6.3. This is 6.4. So once again, we are not technically getting a new version of Windows. We're just getting another upgrade.
Another upgrade, yeah.
We're getting a better revision.
Speaking of which, I thought the most impressive thing they said was if you own a legitimate copy of Windows 8, that this upgrade will be free to your team. Which is awesome because...
And if you don't have a legitimate version of Windows 8, you'll figure out a way to get it free anyways, probably.
Pretty much, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I was going to kind of comment to that, say some people actually bought 8 in this case, or just bought it with your PC or tablet?
Bought it with... I actually got an OEM copy of 8.1, and I got it it was on sale for $55 at Best Buy. It was during Black Friday. And that's the only reason I got it was because it was that cheap.
Which I was going to say that, yeah, you definitely would have gone I would have gone only because it was on sale.
And it's the full install OEM copy. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, and it's pro. So, I mean,
yeah.
And that means I have a legit key, and that means now that 10 is going to be a free upgrade, I don't have to worry about buying another OS, And they give you all these nice benefits. And, yeah, because like Matt was saying, he's sold on 8. I was one of the skeptical ones at first, and then as I got to use it more and 8.1 came out, that's when I finally switched to 8. Was right when 8.1 came out, and I like it. It's awesome.
Microsoft said their idea of calling it Windows 10 is they're trying to unify the Windows platform again, but they're trying to unify the naming nomenclature. Unfortunately, they can't call it Windows 1 because it was already a Windows 1.
Meaning like, so that means they don't want to duplicate what they did with Xbox One. Am I the only other person?
Because they have one drive, Xbox One, Windows 10, which
has a 1 in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I give Windows 10 right now in testing phases. I give it about a good 7.8 out of 10. The only reason why I'm not giving it an 8 or a 9 or nothing like that, it's testing phases. I mean, I can't just say slap approval, don't
Windows
fix
1,
anything.
People. Windows 1.
So
what's the release date? Did they say the release date yet?
I think they mentioned somewhere between about 8 to 9 months, even from the date that they just had everybody downloaded. Yep. So June. Maybe
next summer. Yeah, that
possibly.
Makes sense. Yeah, because
new versions of Windows come out in usually September, October.
Yeah, because they want to start selling. They want to package it with, Dell, HP, all those computer companies.
Oh, yeah.
They want to they'll use it as their main selling point.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with 10.
What I'd really want to see them push, I want to see them push an update that'll say, now Windows 8 is scalable, or it's finally able to scale itself to 4K content on a monitor. That would be nice.
That'd be nice. Yeah, most of the time they try and stick to a fall release. We'll probably and a summer manufacturer release for like OEMs. We'll see it probably next year, early or mid-year. At least probably the MSTN channel and the regular channels that we usually see it on. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'll be upgrading. I have nothing against Windows 8 personally, but everybody else seemed to. So, Microsoft, once again, if it's broke, just splash a new coat of paint on it and say you fixed it. That's pretty much what Windows 10 is. Windows 10 is the Windows 7 to Vista. Because guess what? Vista and 7, there's no big difference. My programs work better in 7. Well, of course, because Vista was out years before 7. And guess what? They fixed all the shit for Vista, so when 7 came out, you didn't notice it.
Exactly. I liked it when people said that. That was funny, because it's like, do you realize that it's just because they fixed Vista? Because if you use Vista now, or the latest version of it, it works perfectly fine.
It had some optimizations that were put in. I'll give it that, but it was not a bad operating system. I mean,
Yep.
the only really bad version of Windows. What was it, Chris? You know what I'm talking about.
Miserable edition.
Yes,
ME,
Windows
everybody.
ME. Everybody,
Oh,
the
God.
mistake edition.
It was at
Everybody-
Stream, remember? They had it at Stream for a short time, and then
Oh, yeah.
they changed to Windows 2000 very quickly.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
God,
we
that was awful.
remember we were gamers, so we always stay on top of it, and we put Windows ME, and we're like, haha, 98.
We reverted right back to 98. Exactly.
It
That's
was
exactly what I
unstable as
did.
hell, and then we went to Windows 2000, then eventually XP.
XP, yeah. Yeah, Millennium Edition, that was terrible. That was a terrible.
By the way, Microsoft's tendency to just splash new coats of paint and call it new isn't new. Windows XP is really Windows 2000.
That's true.
2005.
Just a newer
Windows
GUI
NT
interface.
5, XP is 5.1 or 2. Just like Vista 7.6.1, 8 is 6.3, and we're on 6.4 and 6.5, or 6.4. But in any case, yeah, Microsoft, you're a bunch of... when you're actually going to come out with a new kernel and new version of Windows? It'd be interesting to see. Looks like they're trying to copy the Apple model of just splashing new coats of paint and updates on a continual basis.
How long have they been on the OS X for? How long?
They're never going to change that.
Yeah.
I think they've actually have done like because the OS itself has been completely reworked when they switched to the Intel platform.
Yep.
So it is actually a I think the kernel was retweaked quite a bit back then. But we'll keep our eye on it, and we'll report on it as we go on with 140W. We will keep our eye on Windows 10 because I'm pretty sure Carty and I will upgrade once it goes final because we can't get beta versions, unfortunately. I can't run that on my system.
And I just don't have the time or patience for betas. My brother...
He'll call me
he's
every
been-
day. What? It doesn't
Yeah.
work. What do I need to do?
Yeah, my brother, he's been doing that since like Windows, 3.2. Well, before Windows 95.
I'll
he's
throw
been...
it in VMware Workstation later this week and test it out. I just haven't had a chance.
I just had a separate sitting around 500 gig hard drive, plugged it in, and just loaded on that. Like, okay,
Yeah, I got
this will work.
Fit.
All right.
But I agree.
Do you guys have any personal recommendations for this week?
I recommend Smash Brothers for the 3DS if you don't mind
How is
playing
it?
on
I
small
haven't
screen.
played it, and I've seen middling reviews.
It's awesome. My son's playing it behind me. I got a chance to look at it. The graphics are on par. Who'd you get?
Dark Pit.
Dark Pit, nice. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, so many characters, so many added options. I mean, this is going to be expandable as all get out. That I'm sure the Wii U version will be the exact same or more. I mean,
No,
you think of
the
the
Wii U
well,
version
you,
will
you
have
think of the
Um,
potential. I
From
mean,
what
it's
I
gonna,
heard was you can't do character
the Wii U
transformations in
will
the
have
3DS one.
Smash Run's
Like,
exclusive.
you can't do what? Character what?
transformations.
Smash
Like,
Run isn't in the
You can't-
Wii U. Smash Run.
Smash Run.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
Oh, Smash Run
Yeah.
is an exclusive feature just for the 3DS.
Yeah, they needed to because they needed to give it something.
Yeah.
Something,
well,
right.
not only that, there are
Yeah.
levels in the 3DS version that aren't on the Wii U and vice versa.
And
are
vice
console
versa, right.
specifics. And also, like, character switching doesn't work, where, like, Sheik into Zelda and Zero Suit Samus to...
Yeah, they're now separate now.
yeah, they
So
can't
they're-
do it.
yeah.
They can't do it in the 3DS. The Wii version,
3DS.
Wii U version, will have the transformation.
We'll be able to, yeah.
Yeah.
What Matt's talking about is the transformation. You know how Zelda turns into...
No,
Sheik.
Zelda and Sheik
They're
are two
separate.
different
Yeah, they're separate on...
characters.
Yeah, Matt
So
was
is-
saying you can't
So
do
is Samus and Zero Suit Samus.
Right, exactly. Which they already established that the 3DS, due to its limited capability,
Yeah.
they couldn't do the transformation
Tell
part,
them
which...
about the Ice Climbers and how their absence is present.
They're what? What about the
The
Ice Climbers?
Ice Climbers were, because they had to be together, Nintendo couldn't work in the Ice Climbers because they had to be together. They
Oh, the Ice Climbers
Oh,
are not in
right.
there because they couldn't, because of the whole, that same reason. So Ice Climbers are not on the 3DS version.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
Hey,
Yep.
it kind of reminds me back when
Actually,
they had
you
to put,
wanna
like, Mortal
tell
Kombat
what
on a
this
Game Boy or
history
a Game Gear and couldn't
in
put all
the
the
game,
characters
if you
in.
play on Yoshi's Island with a certain amount of certain characters, whenever they
I'll just put
cheer,
him
they
on
were
and let him
cheering
do a
the
full
names of
review of
the
the
Ice
game.
Nice. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, to me, like the 3DS version will be great, but once the Wii U version comes out,
Oh yeah.
I guarantee you that is all people are going to be playing for a long time. And
I'm sure there'll be a demo out soon. They released a demo
Oh,
for
yeah.
the 3DS version.
I'm guessing the demo will be out probably within this month. I would say before Halloween we'll probably see a demo
And we'll
because it
probably
comes out in November. The game comes out.
Supposedly,
In November,
they haven't
so-
really released the date.
Oh,
yet.
that's true. I mean, they could change it,
It'll
but
be November.
I think it'll be November too
Yeah.
because that's a big month, man. They're going up against Blizzard. They're releasing Warlords of Draenor in that same month.
Yeah,
so
but
I
as
guess
good
to
as
say-
WoW
I know they're
is-
two separate things, but not really because it's still gaming and you still put a lot of time into both. So I mean, probably more so in WoW. So, but Nintendo has always been able to handle competition, I think, and they never. end up-
I haven't
so.
I haven't seen any games lately again that made me say, "Ooh, I must buy it," except for like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart 8. I mean, Alien Isolation just got released, and once again, it looks like they screwed the pooch on another Alien game. This is what I was
Yeah.
actually looking
Sucks.
forward to. I'll get it. I'll review. I'll get
Wait
it.
till it goes on sale on Steam.
As soon as it goes on sale on Steam, I will buy it and I will review it. It comes out next week, next Friday.
Next Friday, yeah. It's
Actually, I
like
think
in
it
a
comes out on the
week.
7th, I think.
7th. Yeah, that's next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. So as soon as it comes out, I will buy it. I will play it. I will give you guys a full review of it on the show that week.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that because I would like. It would be nice to have a good Aliens because
I may stream it. I am contemplating. If I can figure out how to stream it on my big TV and hook my camera up too, I will do it.
Yeah, I could help you out with that, Matt. You could actually get well, I would suggest getting if not a capture card, then at least get it's called Elgato, and it's a little external.
I'm playing it on the PC, so I'll be captured. I played on the PC that's hooked to my.
Oh, I forgot your PC is hooked. Never mind.
I can
Okay,
get on Steam. I don't want to play.
you could stream it. Yeah, you could set it up on your TV and all that.
Yeah,
you just
I
gotta
gotta figure out how to get the camera hooked up, and because the camera, I don't have a USB cord that long.
just get a lot. Yeah, get a 100-foot USB cable or no 50-foot.
Yeah, I actually side rant. I am trying to figure out how to do it. The problem is you can't really get USB 2.0 to go very far, and it goes down to 1, but that limits me on what I can do, and I'd have to hook a headset up plus a camera, so it can be a little more difficult. So, anyways, so Carty recommended that. I will be recommending the same game as well. I suggest everybody gets Smash Brothers for the 3DS. And if you don't have a 3DS, what the hell is wrong with you? Mario,
Yeah.
you have any recommendations?
Not this week besides Smash Brothers. So far, Talk of the Town. Only thing I can think
Hyrule.
of.
What about Hyrule Warriors?
Matt, I know you got that one.
Week.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
that's-
I got Hyrule Wars. We reviewed that last week.
Yeah, that's. Whew.
I think it's pretty cool.
It's pretty
I've
awesome.
never played Dynasty. Like I'll
It was
reiterate
announced
since Carty
when
wasn't
the
here.
big
It's a pretty good game. I do enjoy it. It's not a Zelda game, but it's a little bit of every Zelda game. It has storylines and worlds from every Zelda game, and you just go through and just destroy everything. It's fun. It can get repetitive, which is par for most Dynasty Warrior games, I'm told.
Exactly.
But, I like it. It's Zelda. It's not CDI Zelda, so I enjoy it.
Excuse me, princess.
I know,
I
right? It's all
enjoy that
particular.
Zelda. I enjoy the 80s cartoon Zelda. Yes, I said that.
Wow.
Screw all y'all haters.
Hayden.
That Zelda was awesome. That's the first Zelda that wasn't like a total, useless bitch, man. She's actually kind of a badass in that cartoon. Unlike Princess Toadstool in those cartoons. Completely. Do the Mario! Okay.
Oh my god.
So, little side rant. There was a guy dancing outside, or with one of the signs in a Mario costume outside the game store. That Are You Game? It's a used game store in the mall.
Yeah.
I went up to him one day and said, No, you're doing it wrong. You got to do the Mario. Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, do the Mario. Take one step. And the guy looked at me and he's like, Because he's dressed in a Mario costume. Like, no, you gotta do the Mario. I felt bad.
That's awesome.
All right, so Mario, where can they find you on the interwebs?
On Facebook, Mario Benegas. It's the only spot I have right now.
Carty, where can they find you right now? Or you don't care where they can find you?
Right now you can't find me, but I'll have some more.
I see you. You're right there. Oh.
Yeah, well, Facebook, obviously.
Right there, I see you.
And Twitch, I'm creating a new Twitch account. I just haven't done it yet. So, anyway, I changed my Twitch. So, but yeah, just for now, just
a bad STD.
Through 4TW, through the website, which we're still, working on and getting everything back up. So,
yep, I've been busy with work. Sucks sometimes.
Yeah, same here. Work and writing, but where can they find you, Mr. Majeski?
AdmiralJoker.com, and be sure to visit us at 4tw.admiraljoker.com for the latest updates on 4TW Network. We're probably going to have a Twitch channel up and running soon. Carty will probably be live streaming to that, as will I. I'll be live streaming probably Alien in Isolation to that once I get that up and running. So, alrighty. Well, gentlemen, you guys have a very good night.
Yep, you too, man.
You too.